Welcome back, everyone. We have another special guest, Cy Porter. Cy is a home inspector in the Arizona area, and he was actually my home inspector. It's
well,
nice to have you on.
Outside of
Very
Arizona.
well known. I found you on social media. First, talk about how you.
We've got some fans in the chat too.
I'm sure you have plenty.
Side.
Talk about how you grew your following on Instagram and TikTok.
So I really don't know how I grew my following. I just posted what I see.
You were just you.
And, and it just happened.
What gave you the idea of like, I'm gonna start showing videos of this?
So it's my wife's fault. My wife was all into social media. I really didn't even know what social media was.
Yeah.
And I would tell her these crazy stories every day, and she's like, "You can't post that." I'm like, show me how. And then we just slowly evolved into posting on all the 4 big platforms.
How was that with just figuring it out of like, let's see where this goes?
So I've deleted like 90% of my old content because it's just so bad. So it was definitely a work in progress.
Yeah. Just getting through it. Well, let's take a look real quick. One of your famous inspections that went viral.
Remember this loose wall?
Whoops.
Well, I'm back, and I'm doing the neighbor's home. And I don't know why these builders get so much hate, because if you take away the minimum standards, they actually do a pretty good job. Let me prove it. You sick and tired of people climbing your wall? I promise you, they're only gonna climb this one once. One damaged truss, who cares? Our homes are over-engineered anyways.
Okay, let's come back real quick. Wow.
Watching this just gives me anxiety.
I know.
I know.
Well, so when I first moved to Arizona about a year and a half ago from Texas, came in the newsroom, and we had a story we were working on that day, I believe, about home construction, something in that regard. And one of the former colleagues, she was saying, "Oh my gosh, have you seen this home inspector that's on Instagram? Does these breakdowns? Let me show you Cy Porter's videos." And I just remember watching that one in particular, another one, and I was just like, I've got to go home and start looking at my house. And started seeing,
Oh yeah.
holy crap, that's my stucco, same issue. It's amazing.
It is.
My brother sent me a video, one of your videos, and said, "You need to hire this guy." And then I just went on a tangent and was scrolling and watching all those videos. I was like, I absolutely need to hire you to take a look at my home. Thankfully, my home didn't have as many problems that you usually see, I hope.
So your neighbors was worse. They're the ones that had gas leak.
Yeah, you saved me. Finding that gas leak is awful, and you actually have a video of that too. I don't think we're gonna play it, but you found that one, which was great. That was a lifesaver. Do you see a lot of these issues, the wobbly wall, the chicken wire? Is that common?
Everything's pretty much repetitive, so I'm shocked people still watch my content because it's the same thing over and over.
Well, that gas bubbling issue, can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so those real bad gas leaks, like the one at your home, are more rare. Recently, they're just super minor, very small, but the gas company takes it very seriously. They're out there at 10, 15 minutes and have it fixed.
Yeah.
With one exception.
So it's kind of like a sealing problem on the pipe. Can you break that down?
You know, I'm not quite sure why it happens. I don't know if it happens over time, if it's been leaking for the whole year, but that is definitely something we should look into to find out why.
Right. Well, with stucco in particular, with Arizona, obviously we have certain materials that hold up a lot better out here than they would in other states. And stucco is a go-to option. So with the issues that happen, especially with the chicken wire, not laying it down properly, the lathe and whatnot, can you talk about why that's such an issue here? Is it just speed, laziness, lack of skill?
It is probably speed, and they probably don't have the best contractors watching over them. But a lot of the stucco issues are usually easy fixes. There's a few videos where I test the stucco and it falls off. Yeah, that's a big repair. A lot of times the stucco has to be pulled off and you just got to get it off.
Wow, expensive job. We have a question for Cy. How does one begin the process of home inspection certification? How can one get started in practice, and what's required?
So it's going to be very different in every state. In Arizona, we have the AZBTR, and they're going to have a list of things you have to do: background check, you have to do parallels, you have to follow behind home inspectors, you have to pass a test. But not every state's the same. Some states don't require a license, and you can just jump right into it and start inspecting homes.
So if I have a home that I go to a home developer and they build it for me, about to get the keys, but I want to get a certification, I hire Cy Porter to come out. walk me through the process of how that works and where we go from there.
So for a new build or a resale?
Both. Let's try that.
So they're very different. So when I do new builds, I do the inspections following the Arizona standards for new builds.
Yeah.
Whereas for a resale, I'm basically going to check what the state requires me to check, and then I'll do a little more just of common issues I find on resales. And I pretty much start from the top of the roof down to the foundation and check every single thing I can. And as I improve over the years, there's just more items to check.
Wow. So if a home has a warranty, per se, and you're doing that inspection, you come back with your report. What's the recourse for somebody at that point?
So that's why I'm a big fan of new builds, because there is a recourse. A resale, you're out of luck. They don't have to do anything. But on a new build in Arizona, our laws heavily protect the homeowner. And so you tell the builder to fix the violations, and if they don't, you actually call the state or the city official. They will make the builder fix the issues.
Wow.
So what I did was I bought my home a little over a year ago. Once you are close to your 1 year, you have your 1 year inspection, which is what I did. And boy, there are a lot of things that could be wrong with your home, even though it's a new build. You would think, oh, I don't need to have an inspection. Everything's brand new. Well, did they put enough insulation in the attic? That's something you need to know. Did they? Some of my walls were wavy. There's so many little that my cabinets were warped. I mean, I could go on forever, but I didn't know that there could be that many issues in buying a new home, but there are. So you get close to your 1 year, you have your 1 year inspection, and you tell the home builder everything that's wrong. You send them that inspection, and then you have to make appointments. They come out and they look at everything. Okay, this says something's wrong here. Let's take a look. You go through all of that, and then you have to schedule all of these vendors to come out and fix whatever the issue is. So it was a good few months of people in and out of my home. I think I was late to work once because they were still at my home.
Sounds like that's kind of a full-time job, just keeping up with that.
It feels like a full-time job. I was very overwhelmed. I felt like I needed to take a day off just to figure it out, but we got it done. We got it done, thank goodness.
So do you have any advice for people that, are at that process? They know what recourse they need to take with the state, but it just feels like, oh my gosh, like I'm going to have to devote so much time getting this done.
Yeah, so the process is mostly simple. You just get a proper inspection, have everything documented, you present it to the builder, and actually 90% of the time the builder will take care of it. But every once in a while you have that difficult individual, and then that's when you have to get the state or the local officials involved. And then even more rare, sometimes they're not able to help you, and that's when you're just going to have to get a lawyer to take care of it for you.
Yeah, well, difficult conversations can sometimes happen when you're doing this. I wanted to play a soundbite really quick if we could watch this clip of Cy out in the field.
We don't allow. Are you going to go through and take all this tape off after the fact?
I'm going to go record it, and you're welcome to take it down. Yes.
Oh, so we got to do. You're doing.
Wait, no.
I'm not going to sit here and argue with you, dude. You got a whole different agenda in life, and it's like,
So am I going to be able to continue the purple tape then?
you do whatever you want. and
Okay,
as soon as
thank
go,
you.
Take it all down.
Thank you. Can I get a business card?
So we don't have to necessarily talk about that
Yeah.
guy in particular, but how do you handle that? You're obviously there to do a job. Feelings can get hurt because you're coming in to say, hey, here's the issues that need to be addressed. They might have a difference of opinion with it, but how do you navigate that?
So if the client's present, I tell them, let me be the bad guy. So
Yeah.
I'm the one that takes all the brunt, and I just sit there and take it. And then every now and then I'll make a clever comment like, can I have a business card?
Yeah. Do most of the time they just kind of resolve on their own?
They do. It's very rare that they get that extreme, but when it does happen, usually within 10-15 minutes, there's like an apology, or the boss comes out and apologizes and says, we'll make sure this never happens again.
Yeah.
You have done so many new builds here. Are you still like a year booked out? What does that timeline look like?
It's over 18 months now.
Oh my goodness! So you're even more booked than last time, than a few months ago. That is incredible. So we cut time. You allotted a few minutes for us today. Did we ruin someone's inspection?
No. So I made arrangements for you.
Okay.
That's awesome.
There we go. Thank you. We appreciate it. It's very interesting to hear just how this business works and how you're handling it with the home builders, because it took a lot for me to kind of put up this front and be like, nope, this needs to be fixed. Like, this looks awful still. Like, they just, painted it and they didn't actually replace it. It's hard to have those conversations. So having you in my back pocket as a home inspector to explain why something is wrong and listing it out on on that form is great. Very interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think we have a question. Dave, I can't see the full part of that, but
It says, is there a resource or website homeowners can access for state and local code requirements?
okay, so yeah, resource website for state and local requirements for homeowners.
So Arizona has them. You can go to the AZROC. You can just Google AZROC standards, and it will tell you everything the builder's responsible to take care of. But other states don't have that. Almost no other state has the regulations we have.
Wow. So yeah, definitely some good parts in there. I guess what I wanted to ask you too was just how do you handle navigating with these larger organizations that you might come into contact with, where it's not just the individual person that built the home, but it can be even companies with trying to do that.
So that's what makes it easy is because of our state laws, everything is just the builder. So you don't have to really deal with any other organization than the builder. And I even tell homeowners, you shouldn't deal with anyone else but the builder.
Yeah. Well, and obviously it's 2025. We all have phones in our pocket, cameras in our pocket. Is there any advice you can give for homeowners out there with documenting things, with taking pictures, getting that evidence?
Yes, I tell everyone you have to record every interaction. You don't have to do video, but you at least got to do audio because you will not believe how much that's going to save you.
That's what it's about. Yeah.
You want to get those things fixed, so.
Yeah. Good advice. Sorry, real quick, we've got about 15 seconds left, but tell folks where they can find you.
They can find me on social media. It's the same on every platform, CyFy Home Inspections.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming in. We appreciate it. Very nice to see you again.
Yes, excellent. Okay, Fox 10 Talks. We'll be right back.